Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to ShortSalePowerHour.com.
God.
That's Laughing Kevin. I'm Fred. I don't know why we're laughing already. Probably because the topic. We
today's
just chose
topic.
it and then we click start.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today
Copy
about
out.
buyers, lenders, and how they impact and affect, and sometimes just going to say it plain, screw up transactions. Now here's the deal. I am not going to use this episode as a soundboard and an opportunity to just whine and complain and moan about buyers lenders.
You don't want to rip on.
No, I already ripped the one buyer lender on the phone today. I don't need to rip him on video. I'm
kidding. Now we're gonna rip him on.
I'm not gonna rip on and make fun of. Here's the deal. As a listing agent, listing short sales, I have come to learn. It's taken me 4 years now. Just messing around. Yeah. Now, I've learned this for a long time, but I think there's even more things we can do to get better. It is extremely, extremely important to be in contact with the buyer's lender. Not your buyer's lender, but the lender that's doing the loan for the buyer on your listing.
Yes.
Because they sometimes are having completely different conversations than the buyer's agent is having with their client.
A lot of times the buyer's agent doesn't actually understand.
Oh, they don't understand the loan process at all.
Yeah. Well, that's two things. There's two different things going on here.
Yeah.
Most of them don't understand the loan process.
Correct.
I'll say 95+% of agents don't understand the loan process, and at least half or more of those don't understand the short sale process. And even though we're giving them constant updates, letting them know what's going on, and nor do they understand the damn contract they had their client sign.
No.
Which is the even scarier part.
Yeah,
so it's just like a big wrecking ball of misinformation.
Well, so I've been doing some training this week with with a couple new team members for Group 4610, and as I was training and teaching yesterday around buyers, lenders, and what's involved, I just was flat out explaining to them, because one of them has no real estate experience, the other one has quite a bit. But I was explaining to them, I said, you got to understand that buyers, lenders have their own time frame. You will call a buyer's lender and ask for an update on an approved short sale, and they will say stuff like, oh yeah, well, we're not scheduled to close on that one until March 14th, so we'll have to give you an update next week. And meanwhile, your contract and your approval and everything that the buyer and seller signed says they're supposed to close February 1st. Yet in their system, they're operating and behaving in a manner that thinks they're closing on the 14th. And they'll use words, because I've had this happen recently, where, well, no, but our closing date in our system is not till this date. I don't freaking care what your closing date in your system is. There's only two parties to this transaction, the buyer and the seller. I don't get to choose the closing date. The seller's lender doesn't even get to choose the closing date. The buyer's lender doesn't get to choose it. The buyer and seller do. Now, having said that, the closing date the buyer and seller choose needs to be within the length of time the seller's lender will allow, because this is a short sale.
Right.
And therefore, the buyer's lender needs to get in line and get on board with the buyer and seller agreed to and the seller's lender has allowed.
How hard is that?
How hard is it?
It's not that hard.
No, it's really not. So
it's just not.
Anyway, I said I wouldn't just complain. So here's the deal. As an agent, you've got to take responsibility for making sure other people's jobs happen. You literally are responsible for ensuring that all parties in a transaction are doing their job and doing it in a timely manner. Now, I did not say that, and this is how I was training these guys yesterday and our team, new team members. I'm not saying that we're responsible to actually do their job. We're not going to do it for them.
It's just our responsibility to make sure it happens.
But it's our responsibility to make sure it happens, because when something's not happening that should be happening, it therefore now affects our job. So somebody else not doing their job now becomes our job to fix all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so we have to be monitoring buyers, lenders, and buyers agents. We have to be making sure they're ordering their appraisals on time. We have to make sure that check in and see if they got their loan into underwriting yet, or if it's still in processing. We have to make sure that when a loan comes out of underwriting and the buyer's lender says, oh yeah, it's in underwriting, it just came out, we're good to go. Well, does good to go mean that you need 3 more prior to doc conditions before docs can go out? Or does it mean that you have no prior to doc conditions and the docs are going to title this afternoon? Because good to go and we're great and all these stupid terms buyers, lenders use are vague and don't mean anything. And at the end of the day, you just can't trust other people to do their job.
It's very similar to the old short sale negotiation adage. Trust no one, verify everything.
It absolutely is. I mean, the transaction coordinator on your real estate team, or maybe it's you, maybe you're a one-person show, you have to assume responsibility to make sure everybody's doing their thing. Because at the end of the day, the seller looks back on you, or the buyer looks back on you, and whoever your client is, depending on what side of the transaction you're on, and they either love you for how smooth the transaction went, or they're extremely upset with you. And a lot of times, their frustration and their anger and upset, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with some other party.
Yep. It's that simple.
It really is that simple. So not only be careful with who you're in business with and make sure you're monitoring those relationships, but also monitor every other relationship that you didn't get to choose. I'm done.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Hey, come on back next week. I think we might get our friends to appear on the show next week. I'm going to say it right now so that we do. I think we might get some guests. They haven't been guests on the show in a long time. People are sick of us. Did you know that?
I know. We need to get some guests, seriously.
Let's get some guests. Okay. Hey, have a good weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Time to finish the month strong next week. 1, 2, 3. Short sale power hour. Short sale power hour. Out.
Oh,
crush.